I'm 78. I used to bathe every day, until this nearly killed me. It was a cold winter morning, the kind where the house feels so still you can hear the hum of your own breath. I stepped into the bathroom just like I had for years. Warm water, a clean towel waiting. Everything familiar, everything safe, or so I thought. In a blink, the floor gave way beneath me. And there I was, a man of 78, lying helpless on the cold tile, the steam rising like a fog I could not escape. 3 hours passed before someone found me, and all because I believed something simple, something I was taught all my life, that bathing every day was the right thing, that it meant dignity, that it meant health. But what if it does not? What if, after 70, some of the habits we cherish quietly begin to work against us? Today, I want to walk you through the quiet truths no one talks about. How daily bathing can harm aging skin, drain your precious energy, and put your safety at risk. And why learning to listen to your changing body is an act of true wisdom, not neglect. Here at Elderly Health and Wisdom, we believe that growing older is not about doing more, but about doing what matters. If you have ever wondered, am I really bathing the right way for my age? Leave a 1 in the comments below. Stay with me, because what you learn today might just change the way you care for yourself and protect the life you have built. 1. When bathing became a burden. There is a kind of tiredness that does not come from work or worry. It comes from the small everyday things, the ones we once did without a second thought. I remember the day it first crept up on me. The air was cool. The bathroom mirror was fogging up just the way it always did. I stepped under the warm water, closed my eyes, and let it run down my back. For a while it felt like a blessing, a familiar comfort, washing over old bones. But when I reached for the soap, my arms felt heavier than they should have. By the time I stepped out and grabbed the towel, my heart was thudding harder than it should have. And when I sat down on the edge of the bed to catch my breath, the morning had already slipped away. At first, I thought it was just an off day. We all have them, but then it happened again, and again. What we do not always realize is, even the simplest acts can begin to weigh differently as we grow older. The body needs to conserve its strength. The heart beats a little slower. The lungs work a little harder. The muscles that once lifted us easily through life ask for a little more kindness now. Bathing, which once refreshed me, now drained something invisible from me. It was not about being clean anymore. It became about surviving the effort of it. Maybe you have felt it too. That strange weariness after a shower. That unexpected need to sit a while longer before facing the day. If you have, know this. You are not alone, and it is not weakness. It is simply your body asking you to listen more closely. There are ways to honor that voice. Some days a full shower is needed. Other days, a gentle wipe with a warm cloth can be just as kind to the body, and far more forgiving to the spirit. The truth is, the body speaks in whispers long before it cries out, and learning to hear it is not giving up. It is growing wiser, and sometimes, real strength is found not in pushing through, but in knowing when to let yourself rest. 2. The silent erosion of skin. There is a certain tenderness we often forget we carry. It lives just beneath the surface, in the thin veil that holds us together. Our skin, once firm, once full of life, becomes like old parchment, delicate, worn by time. I remember my grandmother's hands. how they felt when she held mine. Soft as whispers, yet marked by 1,000 small journeys. The garden soil, the knitting needles, the tears wiped away unseen. She used to say, "The skin remembers, even the things we no longer do." And so, standing under that hot shower day after day, I did not realize the quiet damage being done. You see, as we age, our skin changes in ways we cannot always feel at first. It thins. It loses the natural oils that once shielded it from the world. The collagen that kept it supple fades like a song forgotten, and each time hot water pours over it, each time soap scrubs against it, we strip away what little protection it has left. Scientists call it barrier damage. But to me, it felt more like something was slipping through my fingers, a kind of invisible resilience, lost a little more with every rinse. Maybe you have noticed it too, that tightness after a shower, the way the skin cracks at the knuckles in winter, the way an itch lingers longer than it used to. What we do not always realize is the very habits we trusted to keep us healthy can, over time, wear us thin. Not because we were careless, but because we were trying so hard to stay who we were. There are gentler ways now. Warm water, not hot. A soft cloth instead of a harsh scrub. Moisturizing while the skin is still damp, like giving it a drink before it even asks. The body does not demand much from us in these years, only that we treat it with the same patience, the same kindness that it has shown us for a lifetime. Because in the end, our skin is not just our boundary to the world. It is the story of every season we have survived, and perhaps the most beautiful thing we can do is to let it age softly, without apology. 3. One fall, and everything changes. Some moments split your life into a before and an after. For me, it happened not with a bang, but with a soft, sickening slip, the kind that steals your breath before you even know you are falling. I was reaching for a towel. The steam still thick in the air, the floor slick beneath my feet. One small misstep, and suddenly, the world tilted. It was not the fall itself that shook me. It was the silence after. Lying there, the cold seeping into my bones, feeling the weight of my own fragility settle around me like a second skin. No one teaches you how quickly strength can vanish. No one warns you that something as ordinary as a shower can become a quiet battlefield. The numbers are there, in the pages of reports. The CDC says 1 in 4 adults over 65 will fall this year. Most will fall at home, and many in the bathroom. But numbers cannot tell you what it feels like to lie helpless on a cold tile floor, waiting for help, wondering how you got here. Maybe you have seen it happen. To a friend, to a neighbor, to someone you love. Or maybe you have felt the floor betray you once and never quite walked the same again. It is not weakness. It is the body's way of whispering, "The ground is closer now. Tread more carefully." There are ways to honor that wisdom. A non-slip mat, a sturdy grab bar, a seat in the shower. Simple things. Quiet guardians. And sometimes, the wisest act of love is to change the battlefield altogether. To bathe when we are most steady, most awake. And to listen when the body says, "Not today." The truth is, one fall can change everything. But one small change, a slower step, a steadier hand, can change everything too. And in that choice, there is still so much strength left to claim. 4. Your skin cleans itself, if you let it. There is a quiet wisdom written into every inch of us. But somewhere along the way, we forgot how to trust it. When I was a boy, growing up in the wide open fields of Iowa, we bathed in the creek more often than the tub. The earth would cling to our elbows, the sweet smell of grass in our hair. And yet, no one worried we were dirty. We lived close to the land, and closer still to the rhythms of our own bodies. It was only later, in the bright aisles of stores filled with soaps and sprays, that I learned the idea that more scrubbing meant more health. That clean had a smell, that nature needed to be washed away. But the truth is softer and older than any bottle on a shelf. Our skin is not just a barrier. It is a living world, a gentle balance of oils, good bacteria, and self-renewing layers that have always known how to care for themselves. Science now tells us what our grandparents felt in their bones, that our skin naturally sheds the old and welcomes the new, that friendly microbes shield us from harm, like tiny unseen sentries, that every time we scrub too hard, wash too often, or soap too aggressively, we strip away allies we never even saw. Maybe you have noticed it too. The more you wash, the drier you feel, the itch that lingers. The way your skin seems to ask, "Have you forgotten I am trying to protect you?" What we do not always realize is, sometimes the best care is not to do more, but to interfere less. A warm cloth to the places that need it most. Underarms, groin, feet. A soft towel, a little patience. It is enough. It has always been enough, because the skin does not need to be conquered. It needs to be honored, respected as the faithful friend that has carried us through every season, every hardship, every joy, and maybe the greatest act of care we can offer now is simply to step back and let the body remember what it already knows. 5. It's not about smell. It's about shame. There is a kind of fear that lives quietly beneath the surface of growing older. It is not the fear of wrinkles, or slower steps, or even aching joints. It is the fear of being seen as less. I first noticed it in small ways. The extra swipe of deodorant before visitors arrived. The quick, nervous glance in the mirror before heading to the store. The quiet panic that maybe, just maybe, someone might think I was unkempt, unclean. My neighbor, Ruth, she was 82 and as sharp as ever, once confessed to me over tea, "I scrub myself sore some days, not because I need to, but because I'm scared my grandchildren will wrinkle their noses when they hug me." And I knew exactly what she meant. What we do not always realize is, the fear of smelling old is not really about hygiene. It is about dignity. It is about wanting to remain welcome, wanted, embraced. But the truth is softer and kinder than our fears make it out to be. Most odors that come with aging are not the body's betrayal. They come from just a few small places: the folds of the skin, the feet, the underarms. And they are easily cared for, not with harsh scrubbing, but with a warm cloth, a change of clean clothes, a little fresh air. We do not need to battle our bodies. We need to forgive them. And in doing so, forgive ourselves. Maybe you have felt that hesitation too, the second guessing before a hug. The extra minute spent choosing a shirt that feels fresher. If you have, know this: those who love you are not counting showers. They are counting moments. They are holding on to the warmth in your laugh, the kindness in your hands, the history in your eyes. And no soap in the world can replace that kind of beauty. Sometimes, the sweetest scent we carry is simply the memory of all the love we have given away. 6. What the doctors are now saying. There is a strange comfort in hearing a truth you always felt deep down, finally spoken out loud. It was a cool afternoon when I sat across from Dr. Harris, a man my age, but with the crisp certainty of science in his voice. He leaned forward, resting his hands lightly on the folder between us, and said, "You know, John, after 70, bathing every day might do more harm than good." I blinked, felt a small ripple of shock and relief all at once. Because somewhere inside, I had known it too. Each shower leaving me colder, drier, more tired than before. But I had held on to the habit like a badge of honor. Dr. Harris smiled, the kind of smile that feels like permission, and continued, "Most seniors do best bathing once or twice a week. The body changes. The needs change. Cleanliness adapts. And just like that, a lifetime of shoulds softened. What we do not always realize is, the body is not stagnant. It is a landscape that shifts with the seasons of our lives. What once kept us strong can, with time, leave us fragile. Experts from Mayo Clinic, from Harvard Health, all say the same now. Overwashing dries the skin, weakens its barriers, and robs the body of its natural defenses. Bathing every day is not necessary. It is not safer. It is not kinder to an aging body. And perhaps the greatest wisdom in health is knowing when to let go of what no longer serves us. A quick wash of the face, a soft cloth for the folds of the skin, a fresh change of clothes. These small, quiet rituals can carry more care than the grand routines we use to prize. Maybe you have felt the same hesitation, standing at the edge of the tub, towel in hand, body whispering, "Not today." If so, listen. Listen with the same tenderness you would offer a dear old friend. Because the body you live in now deserves not just to be kept clean, but to be kept safe. And sometimes, safety is the highest form of love we can offer ourselves. 7. Redefining what it means to be clean. There are lessons we carry for so long, we forget to ask if they are still true. All my life, I believed that to be clean was to be scrubbed, soaked, polished. That the scent of soap and steam was the scent of dignity itself. But life has a way of peeling back those old layers, revealing truths softer, wiser, more forgiving. True cleanliness, I have learned, is not about soap. It is not about the number of baths taken or the shine of skin under harsh light. It is about feeling at home in your own body. It is about tenderness, about preservation, about peace. I think now of Ruth, folding her fresh linens with hands that trembled slightly but still moved with grace. Of Walter, who learned to sit by the window after his fall, letting the morning sun warm his skin, instead of chasing a cold, rushing shower. They taught me something simple and profound. Cleanliness is not what you scrub away, it is what you choose to honor. A soft body, cared for gently. A spirit, unburdened by the old demands of appearances. A heart, still open, still willing to be seen. Maybe you have felt it too, that quiet shift inside you, where being present matters more than being polished. If so, know that you are walking the wiser road. And so now, I let my body guide the rhythm. Some days, a full bath. Other days, a warm cloth across my face, my hands, my heart. Fresh clothes, a kind word to myself in the mirror. And in those small rituals, I feel something deeper than cleanliness. I feel care. I feel continuity. I feel a kind of sacred stewardship for the body that has carried me so far, so faithfully. Maybe that is what true dignity really is. Not how brightly we shine on the outside, but how softly we hold ourselves from within. Some lessons in life we learn by doing, others we learn by falling, and sometimes we learn by finally, tenderly, letting go. I think back to that morning now, the cold floor, the rising steam, the long silence that wrapped around me. And I realize it was never really about the bathing. It was about the story I had been telling myself all those years, that to be cared for meant to be polished, perfected, pressed into some old idea of proper. But care, true care, is quieter than that. It is found in the way we listen when the body asks for gentleness, in the way we trade the rush of routine for the rhythm of respect. Maybe you feel it too, that quiet knowing in your bones, that it is time to live by a new wisdom, a wisdom that says, you are enough. Even on the days when you do less, especially on the days when you move slower, especially when you choose kindness over custom. If this story has found a small place inside you, I invite you to leave a 1 in the comments. Not for me, but as a small promise to yourself, that you will walk forward with a little more patience, a little more tenderness, for the body and the life you have built. And if you feel called, subscribe to Elderly Health and Wisdom. Because here, growing older is not a decline, it is a deepening. Take care of your beautiful body. Take care of your quiet heart. Take care of the one soul that has walked with you through it all, your own. Until next time, be gentle, be wise, be well.